Hmm? Are we ready? Oh, live. Okay, we're now live, everybody. Nithyananda, a very warm welcome to all of you. My name is Manita Dugananda, and welcome to this new series of session called Bhagavad Gita Insights for Seekers. So this is going to be conducted jointly with Kailasa Singapore and Kailasa Telangana. Okay. So, which is part of India, in case you're wondering where this is based. So today is 23rd of August 2023. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all of you, those who are joining me on Zoom, as well as here in aadheenam, and on the social media. We're live in a few social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Okay, so whoever come in, please mute yourself and turn on the camera. Otherwise, I will put you into the waiting rooms for there. Then you will not be able to be part of this whole thing. Then if you don't want to be seen, maybe you can go to the Facebook and watch from there. Okay, if you come to the room, please turn on the camera. So now, so that we can identify who we're interacting with, for that reason only, we want to make sure that whoever comes into the room, we have the camera on. Okay, so let's get into the session itself. So before we enter into the session, let's take a few moments to center ourselves, ready to receive this beautiful, I would say, knowledge, sacred knowledge, royal secret from Sri Krishna. So let's sit with the back straight now in any comfortable meditative posture, with the head, neck, and spine aligned one straight line. Close your eyes and just be centered in the body awareness. Feel the physical body from head to the toes, your fingertips. Connect with the boundary of your body where the skin ends. Be physical in the body. Center on the body itself. And then connect with your breath awareness by breathing in very slowly and deeply. Inhaling, enter into a gap, a pause, a neutral zone. Then exhale very slowly and completely. At the end of exhalation, you enter into the second gap, neutral zone. Now go on like this, breathing in and out by having the awareness between the two gaps. Let the breath integrate this body and mind into the space of now. Present moment. As you know that your breath is the bridge between you and existence, as well as the bridge between you and your body, your mind. Body and mind. Come to the space of listening, Shravana. In that deep restful awareness, let's invoke Swamiji. I'd like you to join the palms together in Amajali Mudra in front of a heart center. Let's invoke him by chanting the Sadguru Vandanam, followed by 3 times Mahavakya. Take a deep breath. Nithyanandam Paramasukaram Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatidam Gaganashatrisham Tattvamasyarilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Savadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadguruntam Namami. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. So once again, welcome to those people who just joined the Zoom as well as the social media. Now, before we enter into the session, I remember in 2011, in September, that was the time Swamiji first introduced this great book, Bhagavad Gita, when he started expounding on Bhagavad Gita. You know that he had, talked about many different scriptures in his discourses, satsang. So in 2011, that was the first time I got introduced to this amazing book, okay? So, and I remember at that time he was also working on Nitya Kriya, okay? He introduced Nitya Kriya. So in today's session, I'm going to basically let us get into the space of awareness, okay? See, in 2011, when Swamiji introduced this book, he introduced one Kriya, which activates the right brain. You know that the left brain is responsible for all the logic, faculty, right? So the right brain cortex is responsible for creativity, the higher, thinking and, cognition. So he prepared us before we enter to receive the knowledge or the, what Krishna has to impart to us, and by preparing us to, through a kriya. So I'm going to make you sit and do this very short kriya, very powerful yet very, very short only, okay? So you will feel the effect of the kriya because we are in his breathing space now. So this kriya is very simple, only 2 steps, okay? So the first step is you're going to put basically your index finger, okay, your index finger, you're going to close your ears with the index finger, and you're going to hum. Wait, listen first. You're going to hum intensely for 5 minutes, okay? Humming means, you know how you hum like a bumper bee, right? Like Maha Mantra. So you're going to do that for 5 minutes. We're going to do the intense humming for 5 minutes. After that, I would set a timer. And then after 5 minutes, we're going to sit in silence for a few more minutes to allow the energy to basically awaken the right brain, the subtle brain grooves, so that we're ready to receive this higher truth, okay? See, some of you may know, I'm also a yoga teacher. So, these body preparation are very, very important, especially you're sitting with such powerful, scriptures. So all of you, are you ready? So put the index finger, okay? Cover your each ears with the index finger. And I'm going to set the timer for 5 minutes, okay? So I'm going to put a clock, alarm. Okay, are you ready? Let's start. As loudly as possible, as intensely as possible. As loudly as possible, as intensely as possible. Let the resonance of a humming resonate from the navel. Stop. All right, sit now in silence for a couple of minutes. Just be in silence. Allow the humming, the vibration of the humming to infuse, penetrate to the entire body and the space. Allow the Kundalini Shakti to be awakened. All right, you may now open your eyes. Wow, so now we have 22 people in the Zoom now. Welcome, everybody. We had just set up the whole preparation to awaken the right brain to get ready to receive this important, I would say, session by the Krishna, Sri Krishna. So with that, let's enter into the next slide. So basically, I'm just going to talk through in the first few slides, then I will introduce our guest, our special guest. Okay. So as you know, this book, Bhagavad Gita, there are so many versions of Bhagavad Gita, but this whole session is going to base on this book written by our Guru, right? His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, called Bhagavad Gita Decoded. Okay. He says that Bhagavad Gita is the song of God. It is also the manual for enlightenment. So whatever question we have as a seeker, this book gives the answer. So we're going to take the next many sessions to unravel the gems of this book, okay? From the seeker perspective, not like a book reading, but asking intelligent questions as a seeker. So I would really encourage all of you to download the book. If you have the physical book, great, start reading. Then it becomes a meaningful, conversation. All right, so now let's get into the next slide. So this is the context that I'm going to set up the session. When I was planning for this session, okay, as you know that Swamiji, our Guru, gave a beautiful Guru walk in this Chatumasya, okay. Chatumasya, Chatu means 4, Masya means month. In these 4 months of spiritual tapas or penance, we normally spend these 4 months for spiritual growth, okay? Learning scriptures, doing all kinds of practices to uplift and upgrade our consciousness. So one of the highly recommended book he gave all of us as his devotees and disciples is to read this book. And also make as many people as possible globally embrace this book, because this book has got too many great things, to be discovered. So the setup for this session is, please understand, so that you can come along with all of us, okay? First, I'm going to introduce Rishi Vedavyasa, okay? Nithyanandam.
Nithyanandam.
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.
All right, so I created this, obviously this interesting character. Of course, he's the one, as you all know, that Rishi Vedavyasa is the one who narrated this whole entire epic, right? This whole great epic of Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita. And Lord Ganesha was the one who scribed. He was the one who penned the whole happening. So today we have Rishi Vedavyasa, who is going to answer many of the questions, insights from the seeker perspective. And me representing not just Arjuna, but me also represent all the seekers out there in the entire humanity. So we are going to ask all the questions that we don't know, or we yet to be told. So I'm going to be the one asking the questions to Vedavyasa, Rishi Vedavyasa, and then of course the whole context is based on this book, right? Bhagavad Gita Decoded, which is written by our Guru, His Divine Holiness Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. Okay, and based on the whole book on his teaching on the 4 tattvas, the spiritual principle of integrity, authenticity, responsibility, and enriching. These 4 tattvas, and of course the science of completion, Purnatva. So this is going to be the whole discussion throughout this 18 weeks at least, okay? Because this book has got 18 chapters. So we're going to cover a chapter per session, okay? Today being the introduction, so we will not touch the first chapter because we need to set the context for this. Okay, next slide. So today is going to be the introduction to Mahabharata. Okay, basically there are many people in this part of the world. I know for those people who live in India, breathe and embrace this book like when you were a child, but many parts of this world understand this part of the world. They are fairly new to this book and this whole scripture. So we need time to get everybody on the same page so that we can all travel along together as seekers. Okay? So before that, I want to ask Ma Anadyata, how many are there in the Chinese room, translation room? Can you tell me?
6 people.
6 people for now. Okay? Understand? Not only the English-speaking people are here in the Zoom or on the Facebook or on the YouTube, but also I have set up a separate translation room for the Chinese-speaking devotees or seekers who are interested to learn about this scripture. Because I tell you honestly, many of these Chinese devotees have never had access to this scripture because there isn't many people who talk about this book. So I have decided that I'm going to open up to these people as well. The Vaikuntha is ready to shower to the new devotees of the Chinese devotee. So in this introduction session today, we're going to take time to frame or introduce Mahabharata, set the context, and we're going to learn the mantra to invoke Sri Krishna, because ultimately the entire happening is in the divine presence of Krishna, Lord Krishna, right? The Purna Avatar. And then after that, we are also going to understand what is the grand narrative of this whole scriptures. And we're also going to learn another mantra to invoke the Bhagavad Gita, because this is itself, it's knowledge, it's a deity itself. Understand? This book is a deity. So when we want to expound on the sacred knowledge, we always invoke and pray to this divine energy to impart whatever it wants to reveal to us. So we're also going to learn. So we're going to learn a few mantras today so that we set the right space to receive this knowledge. And then, of course, questions from seekers. We'll be asking different questions. Okay? So this is going to be the flow of today's session. How is it? Let me see. There are a lot of people texting on the chat. Let me just see. Nithyananda. Yes, Nithyananda, whoever just joined, welcome to the session. So for the first time, we have combined Indian devotees, Singapore devotees, and the Chinese devotee. I'm truly excited. Okay, with that, let's go to the next slide. So, may I now hand over to Rishi Vedavyasa to introduce this part, to guide us to invoke the mantra of Krishna.
Nithyanandam, everyone. I welcome all of you with my love and respects. Let us first start with a salute to Lord Krishna. Vasudeva sutam devam 𝐶𝐚𝐚 devaki paramanandam Krishnam vande jagadgurum. I salute unto you, Bhagavan Krishna, Guru, Master of the world, Son of Vasudeva, Supreme Bliss of Devaki, Destroyer of Kamsa and Chanura.
Ma, can you chant? Sorry.
Can I chant
Can
again?
you chant again? Can you chant again?
Yes.
So that we all can do that. Can all of you, maybe you want to chant verse by verse, then we can all chant along. So all of you,
Sure.
please you also chant, but so that you're going to invoke the Krishna's energy in you. Okay?
Sure, sure.
Start, please.
Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam
Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam
Kamsa Chanura Mardhanam
Kamsa Chanura Madanam
Mardhanam Devaki Paramanandam
Devaki Nanam
Paramanandam
Anandam
Krishnam Vande
Krishna Vande
Jagadgurum.
Jagadgurum.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, next slide.
Now, Bhagavad Gita
Good.
is part.
Before next, the previous slides, Anadyata. Yes. Let's hear what Rishi Vedavyasa has to say first. Yes, go ahead.
So, I'll introduce you a little bit about Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is part of the great Bharata's, India's history, which is narrated by me, Vedavyasa. Now, this Gita was written by Sri Ganesha, who embodies pure wisdom and joyful spontaneity. Written in the sense, he was the one who was writing with the pen, but Vedavyasa was reciting. It is narrated as the direct expression of divine himself. It is because of Bhagavan Sri Krishna's direct presence that this Mahabharata was jeweled. The Bhagavad Gita is the indisputable authority of the greatest revelation of the truth. Please understand, this Gita is the sacred text, incarnation of the absolute divine. Let me tell you a little more. This Srimad Bhagavad Gita is also known as ultimate sacred scripture of yoga, Yoga Shastra. And it is known for its pristine glory of the Vedic culture. Also, it is eternal living tradition called Sanatana Dharma. O seekers, please understand, it belongs to the whole universe as it is delivered to the universe by the source and embodiment of the universe. Now, let us salute and bow down to Bhagavan Sri Krishna, who spoke the Bhagavad Gita out of his infinite love and compassion for all the beings. Also, please understand, these incarnations, they land on planet Earth whenever unrighteousness, which is also known as adharma, becomes predominant, and dharma, righteousness, righteous living declines, and the yoga of enlightenment is lost. Parar Brahma Krishna, he is, understand, the supreme consciousness who appears again and again to revive this sacred yoga, to protect and to enrich the devoted beings. And he destroys adharma to re-establish the pure and everlasting dharma, which is the science of enlightenment. Dharma samsthapanardhaya sambhavami yuge yuge. There is no slide. This is Sri Krishna's promise and the essence and spirit of the Gita. Means what I told you before. he lands again and again when adharma becomes predominant. That is the meaning of dharma samsthapanaya. To establish pure and everlasting dharma, he will come down again and again. This Gita, this is also called Brahma Vidya. Means what? Brahma Vidya means the knowledge of Brahma, the supreme absolute truth. It is, in fact, Jivan Mukti Vijnana, means the science of moksha, mukti. Please understand, O seekers, Gita came out of super consciousness of Sri Bhagavan Krishna, the Supreme God, the complete incarnation, Purna Avatar. Understand, it is considered as Gita Shastra, the essential scripture, knowing which any one of you will be liberated from all the incompletions. And also, this is also known as Gita Upanishad, means the essence of all Upanishads, the purest and highest knowledge to be ever known and cognized, because it gives the direct experience of the self to you all. Now, understand Mahabharata literally means Great Bharata. This is a grand narration about the nation and civilization, which is now also known as India. It was then a nation ruled by King Bharata and his descendants. Next slide.
That's before.
Here I'll talk about the grand narrative. Om dharme chardhe cha kame cha mokshe cha bharatar sabha yadi hasti tadanyatra yanni hastina tatkvachet. Do you want to chant, all of you?
Sure. You need to guide
Sure,
us.
of course, that thing always would help. Yes, ma'am.
Dharme chardhe cha
Dhamme chatte cha
kame cha
kame cha
mokshe cha
mokshe cha
bharatar sabha
bharatar sabha
yadi hasti
yadi hasti
tadanyatra
dadan yatra
yanni hasti
yanne hasti
natatkvachit.
natat kvachit.
Ocean of Bharat race, whatever dharma, righteousness, artha, economic growth, kama, pleasure, and moksha, liberation, exist in this text is found elsewhere, but what is not found in this text does not exist elsewhere. First, I will introduce you to the two clans which exist in this Mahabharata. where this whole Bhagavad Gita came out. It is a tale of strife between cousins and ultimately between dharmic and adharmic, righteous and unrighteous civilizations. The true story of this perfectly recorded epic is about two warring clans. Both the clans were in war, Kauravas and Pandavas. They are very closely related to one another. Now, here, Dhritarashtra, he is a blind king of the kingdom called Hastinapur, and he is also father of 100 Kaurava brothers. And he was the brother of Pandu, whose children were the 5 Pandava princes. Since Dhritarashtra was blind, Pandu was made the king of Hastinapura. Pandu was cursed by a sage that he would die if he ever entered into a physical relationship with his wives. So therefore, he had no children. So Vyasa says, means me, I'm saying that all the 5 Pandava children were born to their mothers Kunti and Madri. The names of the mothers were Kunti and Madri. So these children were born to them through the blessing of divine beings. Pandu handed over the kingdom and his children to his blind brother Dhritarashtra, and he retired to meditate in the forest. Next slide.
So I have a question. I've known that the mother of the Pandavas, Princess Kunti, as you know, that she actually gave birth to these 5 princes through the divine energy. So I always have this burning curiosity about how this mysterious birth of these 5 Pandavas princes, because you need to understand the energy that each prince carries in order to understand also their different personality, that a character that is going to play out in this whole Bhagavad Gita. So Mark, this is the question from the seeker.
Okay. Now, I will tell you about the Kunti and birth of the Pandavas through their divine powers. Understand, Kunti, she was an embodiment of tapas, spiritual penance. She did a lot of seva, service, to a rishi called Rishi Durvasa. So she received a boon when she actually served him for 1 year, when she was still a young unmarried adolescent, and she received a boon that she could summon any divine power at will to father a child. So now what happened? Before she married, because she is so adolescent, still she is not yet a complete matured woman. So she tested what that rishi gave. She tested that boon. She tested the boon on the sun god Surya. Naturally, he appeared before her. Through this god's divine Shakti, power, Karna was born to her. But in fear of social reprisals, she cast the newborn away in a river. She put him in a basket and she left him in the river Ganga. Now, later on, after she married Pandu, King Pandu, and when they retired in the forest, when he was meditating, he received, as I told you before, he received a curse that he cannot touch his wives. So with his permission, she will invoke gods with their divine powers. Yudhishthira, Bhima, and Arjuna were born to Kunti with these powers. And the last two twins, Nakula and Sahadeva, were born to Madri, the second wife of Pandu. Even though Kunti was the one who received the boon, she also shared it with her sister, like second wife of her husband. So Yudhishthira, the first son, was born to Kunti as a result of her being blessed by Yama, the god of death. And god of death is full of dharma and justice. Bhima was born through Vayu, the god of wind. And the third son, Arjuna, was born through Indra, god of all the divine beings. The twins, Nakula and Sahadeva, the youngest, were born to Madri through the divine Ashwini twins. Ashwini twins are also Devatas. Now, what happened? Dhritarashtra had 100 sons through his wife Gandhari. Now the eldest of these Kaurava princes was Duryodhana. This guy Duryodhana, he did not feel any love for his cousins, 5 Pandava princes. He made many unsuccessful attempts to kill the Pandava brothers. And Kunti's eldest son, you know, the son who was born before she got married and nobody knows who he was, whom she left in the river. This Karna was found and brought up by a chariot driver in the palace. And by a strange twist of fate, he joined hands with Duryodhana with deep friendship. Now, next.
Next slide.
Yeah. Now, let us invoke the sacred knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. You can repeat, Om Parthaya
Om Pataya
Pratibodhitam
Pratibohitam
Bhagavata
Bhagavata
Narayanena Swayam
Narayane Swarayam
Vyasena Gratitam
Vyasena Gratitam
Purana
Purana
Munina Madhye
Munina Badye
Mahabharatam
Mahabharatam
Advaitamrita
Avetamrita
Varshinim
Vashinim
Bhagavatim
Bhagavatim
Ashtadasa
Ashtadasha
Dhyayinim Amba
Dhyayinim Amba
Tvam
Tvam
Anusandadhami
Anusandadami
Bhagavad Gita
Bhagavad Gita
Bhavadveshinim.
Bhavadeshimin.
This means, Om, I meditate upon you, Bhagavad Gita, the affectionate divine mother, showering the nectar of Advaita, non-duality, and destroying rebirth, incorporated into the midst of Mahabharata of 18 chapters by me, sage Veda Vyasa, the author of the Puranas, and imparted to Arjuna by Bhagavan Narayana, Sriman Narayana, Sri Krishna himself.
So
Yes.
beautiful. So all of us give a bow from within. Pray to the Divine Mother to receive the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Let's keep this whole space very sacred so that the highest truth can be revealed. Next slide.
No. Question. Next slide.
So one of the question from the seekers, what are the reasons for this war, the Mahabharata war? What caused the war to, be, invoked by the two clans? So this is where listen, because this war, it also has a lot of implication in the way we are facing the world, right? And also in our internal world. So let's listen to the reasons for the war.
Yes. Actually, this war is the ground where this great Bhagavad Gita happened. That is the reason first I invoked the sacred Bhagavad Gita. Now let me explain the reason for the war. Understand, O seekers, unrighteousness is the reason for the great Mahabharata war. Dhritarashtra gave Yudhishthira, Dhritarashtra means the blind king. Yudhishthira is the eldest Pandava son. Gave Yudhishthira one half of the Kuru kingdom on his coming of age. But since the Pandava prince was the rightful heir to the throne that his father Pandu had vacated, that is the reason he was given half of the Kuru kingdom. Actually, they didn't want to give kingdom at all. But because he was a rightful heir, they had to give, forced to give. So Yudhishthira ruled from his new capital, Indraprastha. So this Duryodhana means eldest son, eldest prince of the Kauravas, of the 100 Kauravas, persuaded Yudhishthira to join a gambling session where his cunning uncle, Shakuni, defeated the Pandava king. So Yudhishthira lost all that he owned, his kingdom, his brothers, his wife, and he himself to Duryodhana in this gambling session. And they were forced to go into exile for 14 years. Now at the end of the 14 years, the Pandava brothers tried to reclaim their kingdom, being helped by Sri Krishna. However, Duryodhana refused to yield even a needle point of land. He was not ready to give even a needle point of land. And as a result, what will happen? The great war of Mahabharata started. So now what happens? The great Lord Sri Krishna, who always stands by dharma, righteousness, joins the Pandavas and becomes Arjuna's unarmed charioteer. Arjuna joyfully and gratefully chooses his dearest friend, his life, his mentor, and his guru, Sri Krishna, Narayana, to be his unarmed charioteer. Now, next slide. Next.
So here comes another question from the seeker. So we know that you want
not
to...
this.
Yeah.
Next.
Okay.
Next one. No, next one. Next.
No, before. You need to give the context of the war now.
Okay, I'll explain about the outcome of the war later. Now let me, as we invoked the Bhagavad Gita, let me speak to you what happened amidst the warfield. Okay? Amidst the warfield, the real song of God appears. Now, what is this song of God? Gita. So this Gita appears in the heart of Mahabharata as the ultimate practical teaching on the inner science of spirituality that expresses as outer victory and success in life now and also after. So, Sri Krishna's dialogue with Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, see, understand, wherever this war happened, that battlefield was called so sacred. It's named as Kurukshetra. So, out of his utmost concern and love for him, and love for Arjuna and humanity, that is the content of this sacred scripture, Bhagavad Gita. So, basically the essence of the Mahabharata war, the great war of Mahabharata is the fight between the positive and negative thought patterns of the mind called the samskaras or the root thought patterns. Now, the positive thought patterns are the Pandava, they represent Pandava princes. Understand? The positive thought patterns represent Pandava princes, and the negative thought patterns represent the Kaurava princes. Now, Kurukshetra or the battlefield is the body. Please understand. Kurukshetra battlefield is the body. Positive thoughts is Pandavas. Negative thoughts is Kauravas. So who is the Krishna? He is the enlightened master. Arjuna is the individual consciousness. Arjuna represents individual consciousness in this whole story. And Lord Krishna represents the enlightened master, the supreme consciousness, driving and guiding the individual consciousness. Now, I think the seekers want to ask, what is the outcome of the war?
Yes. We know many things got destroyed. Yes.
Please understand, O seekers, Dharma always wins. So, naturally, on whose side is Lord Krishna? On the side of Dharma. So, outcome of the Mahabharata war will always be Dharma. So, all the Kaurava princes, as well as all their commanders, such as Bhishma, Drona, and Karna, were killed in battle. The 5 Pandava brothers survived as winners and became the rulers of the combined kingdom because they were standing on the side of Dharma, righteousness. Understand, Lord says, Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha, means Dharma protects those who protect it. That's what it means. So please understand, I want to tell you here, this Bhagavad Gita is for the whole universe. Now, this is a tremendous opportunity to all the seekers to resolve all the life questions. This is an opportunity to complete with all your root thought patterns and to clear all self-doubts by listening to this master's words and allowing his energy to rewrite your future. Understand, this is an extraordinary possibility to awaken your true nature, to arise with your inner powers, and to cause your highest reality with the master driving yourself into the absolute victory of life. So with the master driving you, yourself, it will drive you into absolute victory of life, living enlightenment, that is living Advaita. So here I'll chant a verse. Yatra Yogeshwara.
Yes, correct. Go ahead.
Please chant. Yatra Yogeshwara.
Yatra Yogeshwara
Krishno.
Krishno
Yatra Pardho.
Yatra Pato
Dhanurdharaha.
Dhanutaraha
Dhanurdharaha. Tatra.
sorry
Tatra
Dhanutaraha.
Shrir Vijayabhitir.
Can you slow down that word? That word again?
Next
Say that.
Tatra Shrir Vijayabhutir.
Tatra Sri Vijaye Bhuti
Dhruvanitir.
Duvamiti
Matir Mama.
Matri Mama.
Means wherever there is Yogeshwara, Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Partha, Arjuna, the supreme carrier of bow and arrow, there will certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary powers, and morality. That is my opinion, O seeker. Now, next.
So here's the next question from the seeker. See, we all know that this scriptures was written at least 5,000 years ago, okay? And 5,000 years ago, and Swamiji is still promoting, read this book. Why is this scripture still relevant to humanity even after 5,000 years? This is a question. A lot of time we say, oh, after that is irrelevant, but here it is. It is again revived, reread, for us again and again to learn about the truth from this scripture. So I'd like Rishi Vedavyasa to enlighten us from this question.
Yeah, see, understand, even after 5,000 years, the Arjuna's dilemma there, 5,000 years back, whatever was Arjuna's dilemma, it is still alive in humanity's experience of life till today. So our questions are hardly different from that time Arjuna's.
Just a little bit, the setting is different, slightly different.
So why are we here? Why do we do what we do in our lives? Why don't we find fulfillment even after years of working for success in the world? Why do more and more challenges await us even after we solve and overcome numerous challenges? How can we become spiritually mature and integrated individuals? Why is this path even required? Please understand this great why. Each of us has to discover this why is there even at that time for Arjuna and even now for all the seekers in the present world. Please understand, this Bhagavad Gita opens with the great why, because it's reflecting the personal crisis that all the seekers face at some point of your lives. This why can be answered in a very simple way. You are here to manifest your ultimate possibility. Please listen. You are here to manifest your ultimate possibility. But each one of you has to discover your own answer to this why. This great why is the seed of God Himself. Why is the virya put into your very DNA structure to help you realize yourself? Understand, only Bhagavan can give the direct experience of self. Only Bhagavan, the one who possessed with infinite powers and infinite knowledge, can declare the imperishable and eternal nature of the self. And also, only He can give the direct experience of the self to Arjuna in Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. This is the 11th chapter where we will come across in this great scripture, Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. And it culminates it with Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, the yoga of liberation. So it culminates into Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, the yoga of liberation. Please understand, this Gita belongs to the whole universe. So the essence of the whole Bhagavad Gita is the master awakening responsibility in the disciple. That is why everywhere Gita talks only about responsibility. That is the reason even today Gita is so relevant to humanity. See, understand. Next slide. So understand, let me tell you that Mahabharata is the personification of Gita. Why is it called that way? This Mahabharata is a scripture where the personification of each quality appears as one character. Each quality of humanity appears as one character. You live so many different experiences in your life, isn't it? You carry so many parts, and one part of you is integrity. One part of you is authenticity. One part of you is self-doubt, and some part of you is self-hatred, and one part of you is knowledge. One part of you is compassion, and one part of you is violence, and also one part of you is cunningness. So understand, when all these parts are fully awakened in you, you are full-bloomed. Then you are Krishna Himself. So if you understand the Mahabharata, you will understand the complexity of personalities or the complexity of you. You will never have hatred or denial to some part of you or towards some part of others. Mahabharata, the personification of Gita. How you know? Pancha Pandavas, or the 5 sons of King Pandu, are the embodiment of the great powers that come from the 4 tattvas of life. Yudhishthira is embodiment of integrity, the power of words, Vak Shakti. Bhima is embodiment of authenticity, the power of thoughts, Mano Shakti. Mahabharata In Mahabharata, Arjuna is embodiment of responsibility, the power of feeling. It's also known as Prema Shakti, the Shakti of love. Sahadeva, the twin brother, is embodiment of enriching, the power of living, Atma Shakti. The Nakula, the second twin, is embodiment of causing reality for others. So, the Kunti, mother, is the mother of Pancha Pandavas, 5 Pandavas. She is the embodiment of tapas, penance. Tapas aligns with the different powers of nature and gives birth to integrity, authenticity, responsibility, and enriching. Now, Mahabharata, if you see, is actually your life. It is nothing but the story of all incompletions. Your body is the earthly kingdom that is attacked by your incompletions. The root patterns of self-doubt, self-hatred, and self-denial that weigh you down and forbid the tattvas to manifest as your great powers. Oh, the next slide.
You have answered the last question, Sri Vedavyasa?
Yes, please ask the question.
The last question, the previous slide, Ma under the other is not this one. Come back, this one, yes. See, our life is like this war, Mahabharata war, right? So what does this Kauravas plan represent? Because you talked a lot of Pandavas, right? They are embodiment, different qualities of, within us. What about the other side?
So, the other side, this other clan, which is Kauravas, the blind king's children.
Yes.
See, understand, in the war, your life is a war field. So, in the war field of your life, this Kauravas, where do they stand? Dhritarashtra, Shakuni, and Duryodhana, along with Bhishma, the great-grandfather, and Karna, the eldest of Pandavas. Pandavas in the sense, the one who was left in the river. So let us see, this Dhritarashtra is the self-doubt in you, in a human. Duryodhana represents the self-denial in you. Shakuni is the self-hatred in you. Karna is the charity and compassion in you. Bhishma is the dharma in you, the undying righteousness. That is Bhishma. But because of the wrong association with self-denial, both your charity and righteousness turn powerless and give up their pure inner space. So do you understand? Even though you have good qualities of charity and righteousness, dharma, if you associate with your self-denial, what will happen? All these good qualities, divine qualities, turn powerless and give up their pure inner space. Self-doubt, Dhritarashtra joins with self-destruction, Gandhari, and gives birth to self-denial patterns. Understand? Self-doubt is Dhritarashtra, self-destruction is his wife Gandhari. Both of them come together and give birth to self-denial patterns, who are the Kauravas, Duryodhana and his brothers. So self-denial is born from self-doubt, and assisted by self-hatred, Shakuni. Understand, self-doubt is blind like Dhritarashtra. Self-hatred is cunning like Shakuni. Self-denial is stupid like Duryodhana. So all these SDHD, the whole humanity carries, right?
Yes.
So when you start the war of your life, integrity, Yudhishthira, never looks like he's going to win the war with self-denial patterns, that is Duryodhana. But when you complete with these root patterns, you cause what you want as reality in your life, and you will rewrite your future. So carry integrity, authenticity, responsibilities, Arjuna, right? And enriching, you will always have the Guru's grace on you. Please understand, when Guru is on your side, see, I want to elaborate here a little more.
Yes.
See, each character is explained, it represents our root pattern in us, one of our quality, right?
Yes.
Now, these root patterns, incompletions, are against the war of four tattvas. Who are they? Representation of integrity, Yudhishthira, authenticity, Bhima, responsibility, Arjuna, and enriching, the Ashwini brothers, Sahadeva and Nakula.
Yes.
So, end of the day, what happened? First, Yudhishthira, when he was fighting with self-denial patterns, who are Duryodhana and the Kauravas, it never looked like integrity is going to win. So Yudhishthira, till the end, nobody knew that Pandavas were going to win. Situation was that. So that is, but still, if we carry integrity, qualities of Yudhishthira and other Pandavas, when we carry all these integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching, what will happen? Lord Krishna, Bhagavan, Lord Krishna, he stood on the side of these qualities, isn't it? Yes. That is the reason Lord Krishna, even without a weapon, he was unarmed when he assisted the Pandavas. Being unarmed, still he assisted the Pandavas. He didn't have to lift a weapon, because integrity, authenticity, responsibility, and enriching are such qualities that with the grace of Guru, Lord Krishna, they won the war. That is the reason Guru plays such a major role in everybody's life. So Arjuna represents Nara, human, individual consciousness, and Lord Krishna represents Narayana, Sri Krishna, super consciousness. So understand, when Guru is on your side, you can win any war of life. I will actually tell you why Krishna was unarmed here.
Yeah, I would like to.
Yeah. See, Kauravas and Pandavas both are cousins to Krishna. They are both related. So he has to give equal importance to them. But definitely Krishna knows that Pandavas are integrated on Dharma side. So he plays the Maya. So what happens right before the war starts? Duryodhana the self-denial patterns, and Pandavas, the Arjuna responsibility pattern, both of them go to Lord Krishna. Naturally, self-denial is full of ego. So what it will do? Duryodhana will refuse to sit at the feet of Krishna. He will sit on the side of the head, where Krishna's head was there, because Lord Krishna was sleeping. So Duryodhana, self-denial, sits on the side of the head. Arjuna, responsibility, he's so obedient, he sat at the feet of the Guru, Lord Krishna. So the moment Lord Krishna opened his eyes falls on Arjuna first. So he will say, hey Arjuna, what do you want? I will give you a boon. Then comes Duryodhana. No, I came first. Krishna is very clear. You came first, but you sat at my head, so I couldn't see you first. So Arjuna deserves. Anyhow, he will tell Arjuna, do you want me unarmed on your side, or do you want my whole Narayani army? Narayani Sena, great army which cannot be defeated, that great army. So Duryodhana will be praying inside, oh, I hope Arjuna asks for Krishna. What will I do with Krishna? I want army. Naturally, self-denial patterns don't know the value of Guru. But Arjuna was very clever. With his bhava of surrender, he asks, I want only you, Lord Krishna. So Krishna says, I'm not going to be armed. He says, no, wherever you are, dharma is there. And wherever dharma is, victory is there. That's it. That is the reason Lord Krishna stands there unarmed. But what happened? Even without a weapon, who won the war?
Yes.
Side of the righteousness, isn't it? So when Guru is on your side, you can win any war of life and create the ultimate reality of your life. When you carry the inner space of Pandavas in your very being and live the four tattvas sincerely, you will always have the grace, protection, and powers of Sri Krishna. Please understand, O seekers, when you surrender to the Master of Masters, Sri Krishna, what you lack will be showered on you, and what you have will be protected for you. 𝐤𝐢𝐭𝐚 𝐃𝐸𝐲𝐝 means what you have will be protected for you. All your yoga and kshema means your well-being. Everything will be protected. So I think I've answered all your answers, so seekers.
Yes.
So surely we will have one discussion like this next week.
Yes.
So I will hand over to here our seeker Arjuna.
Yes, Nithyananda. So thank you all for coming to this session. So I want to just sort of remind everybody, you can download this book, Bhagavad Gita Decoded ebook, using this link, okay? And if you don't have a physical copy, just go and download the e-copy. You can start reading, because next session, next Wednesday, we're going to expound on the first chapter. The first chapter, it comprises many pages, okay? So please come prepared with your questions. You know, we're going to basically go through the first chapter, but we want to make this into an interesting interaction between Sage Vedavyasa as well as the seeker or the Arjunas. Okay, otherwise you'll be coming here and listen to us only. That would not be very, very stimulating or meaningful for all of you. Please take this opportunity as we are as seekers to do your homework, and then come and start asking intelligent questions. We don't want, people just come and, just watch the show. We want people to get involved in this whole, session. So this is what we really, really, want to emphasize. Please come, download the books. As many people as possible, let's come in. You can even send the question to me earlier if you want to. Then we can put all the questions into the Slack, and then we can ask all the questions from seekers. Okay, so that will be kind of the carrots for motivation for everybody to read the book and start getting into the nuts and bolts of this whole, scripture. So we're almost, 5 minutes left. Now, can I just see if there are any questions in the Zoom? I'm just going to read. Okay, I'm already on page 71. Wow, I'm still on the first chapter, almost the finishing first chapter. So I'll be ready by then. Wow, thank you, Ma Bupandra, right? Bupandra. Okay, awesome. She's already one of the what you call it, seekers. Very integrated to Swamiji Guru. When he said go and read the book, they started reading. Okay, Ma, how did the boon work for who's Ken? Me Kunti? Oh, Kunti, when she had doubts on the masters. See, so maybe Ma, Sri Vedavyasa, you want to answer this question, okay?
See, I understand. Here Ma is asking, how did the work for Kunti, how did the boon work? See, understand, she did not doubt the master itself. One advantage here is Kunti did not doubt the master, and she did a lot of service for 1 year, and Bhagavan gave mantra shakti to her. So just by chanting itself, the mantra itself will have a shakti, power. See, she just wanted to experiment it, that how it happens. Because she was literally a teenager, she did not doubt him or the boon. She wanted to see some children, when you put candy in their hand, they know how the candy tastes, but they can't wait to test it, to taste it, right?
Yes.
It's like that. She just couldn't wait. That is the reason she experimented it.
It's just like you got a new toy. Yeah, let me try it, right? We all have that kind of thing. Let me try, see if this works. It's just like you got initiated into new powers. Let me do a screen try.
And not only that, being a teenager, she doesn't know the impact of literally a live child in her hands, isn't it?
Yes.
Even though she got the boon for the child, she still is not matured enough to know the repercussions of having an alive child in her hand at that moment, on the spot. So that's what happened.
Thank you, Ma, for explaining, answering the question. Okay, so I want to complete with this Ayah Bupandra. I thought you were the female body. Okay, my mistake. Complete with you that you're actually a male body. All right, so since you are also a very super on seeker, I welcome you back again next week. All of you, please come back next week. Read the first chapter and let's get going with all the fascinating, questions. I don't know how many of you felt the intense energy when she was reading. She was just talking, like Sri Vedavasa. I was in samadhi. I was like, I'm kind of in different zone or loka somehow. So I can already feel Swamiji's presence. I can feel the divine's presence in this space when you are listening to all this reenactment of the sacred knowledge, the scriptures. Once again, this is my experience. I don't know how many of you felt that. Okay, this is my personal experience. So anyone? You felt that too? How many of you felt this intense energy when this whole session was going on? Let me see. Raise your hand. Understand? This is going to be a fascinating process for all of us. So let's not waste this precious moment given by Swamiji, our Guru, in receiving this sacred knowledge. And also, to me, it's like an initiation, by Krishna, initiation into the Krishna consciousness. So let us take this opportunity to raise our consciousness, our frequency, by understanding Bhagavad Gita decoded in a much more, I would say, subtle level. Not just reading it just like a book and, like a story, but look at it from the seeker perspective, because every opportunity to, have the click will awaken the non-mechanical parts of the brain. So that's what we want, that having a fully activated brain is definitely, a part of the journey to enlightenment. So yes, she chants so beautifully. That's why we need, that's why I got her. And the chanting just make it so the vibration of the mantra, the sloka just gives a different, feel, the energy of those mantras. That's why I told her we want to highlight. We will not be chanting all the sloka, please be very clear, but we will highlight the pertinent one, the important one that gives important click or sacred truth. So that's the way how this session are going to unfold itself. Okay? Yes. So we have, I was just reading some of the, the comments from the the Zoom. We have like almost 30 people just now. Okay, perfectly okay, no problem. And then, session's always been awesome. Yeah, that's why, why I picked her, right? Yeah, see, double thumbs up. Yeah, thank you so much. Soothing voice and manner. Yes, not only just the voice, but the whole energy, the space itself is phenomenal. So I hope all of you enjoy. Please do share. We are going to create maybe a WhatsApp group, for this reading, because then it's we have something in common. So maybe we'll create a WhatsApp group. What do you think, Jarasharika? And then maybe
Yes, ma'am.
you can add those people who you're connected, because I don't know them. We'll add everybody, one big family of Bhagavad Gita Decoded.
Sure.
For seekers. And then we can have more interactivity. Okay?
Sure.
So it's okay, everybody? Thumbs up?
Sure.
So with that, I'm going to conclude with the Purna Mantra. It's been a delight to have all of you here in the first session, Introduction to Mahabharata. So with that, let's join the palms together in Amajali Mudra. Give a bow from within to Sri Krishna, to Swamiji, for giving us this space to learn the sacred knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sobham Bhagavad Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Paruta Paramastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you all for joining. Look
Thank you,
forward to seeing
everyone.
all of you next week. Nithyanandam.
Nithyanandam, thank you, everyone.